Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today's video is what if Naruto had solo leveling or a leveling system. I hope you guys enjoy. Like goal for this video is 10 likes since it's a new series. And I'm sorry for not uploading a lot. Very busy now, but you know it's all right. I'll try to upload as much as possible. From the comments I had, it's better that I use my actual voice instead of a text to speech. But I hope you guys enjoy. This video is not scripted, so it might be a bit chunky because I haven't done non-scripted stories in a long time. But it's fine. I assume that I'll get muscle memory back. Or not really muscle. Never mind. Let's just get started with this video. We start our story off as we see a boy sitting in the hospital next to someone laying in a bed. The boy would be singing happy birthday to himself as he would blow out the candles. Hearing a knock on the door, he'd look over to see an old man walking in. He'd smile as he'd wave at his grandpa, or not by blood, but someone he sees as a grandpa, as Hiruzen would walk over to Naruto, patting him on the head. "How's your birthday, Naruto?" As Naruto would smile, looking at him as he'd look back at his mother laying in the bed. It's been a few years, to be exact 3 years after the Nine Tails attacked, and after his father died. Luckily, his mother was able to survive, and the Nine Tails was sealed back into Naruto. But half of it was sent into Kushina. The reason Kushina is currently in the hospital is due to the fact that she had to get the Nine Tails resealed inside her. She was sent into a coma. Naruto would smile as he would look over to the other room, as he would see, like, I guess a smaller bit. I don't know what, a carriage, I guess? A cradle, I guess? Yeah, a cradle. You'd see a cradle as you'd walk over, seeing his little sister still laying in the bed sleeping soundly. Hiruzen would smile at Naruto's acknowledgement of his little sister. Right now, she's not able to, walk and talk, but only do baby stuff, as Hiruzen knows that Naruto is having a really tough time right now. For one, he is not doing well in the academy, and, his two family members are currently down. Well, his sister is not up yet, but, she's still down. As Hiruzen would put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. "You get through this, my boy," as Naruto would nod. "I'll figure out a way." Eventually, Hiruzen would leave as Naruto would sit back in the chair looking at his mother. He hasn't really known his mother for a long time because ever since he was born, she was in a coma. In fact, for the first few years, Naruto didn't even know that he had a mother. He was an orphan the entire time until Hiruzen decided to show Naruto his mother. And for a while, Naruto was mad at Hiruzen, but he eventually got over it because at least Hiruzen showed him his mother. It's a shame because he's, thought he was abandoned, but he feels like being abandoned would probably be better than this. Able to see your own mother but not know anything. Naruto would just still look at her, and eventually it would get dark and decide to leave. Leaving the hospital, Naruto walked through the streets as everyone would be doing their normal things, some drinking, some closing the night or closing their stores, and he eventually reached his home, which would be a decent home because the Uzumakis are still strong because of Kushina, and it's confirmed that Naruto would be the heir to it, so not a lot of people insult him, but they most likely just stay away from him. Naruto would go into his room and lay down as he would think about the next day. Maybe his mom will wake up. That would be the thing that he always thinks every day. Eventually, he'd go to sleep and wake up the next morning. Walking over to the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen would smile seeing Naruto as Naruto would be stretching. "I'm ready for the missions," as Hiruzen would hand Naruto a folder full of D-rank missions that weren't due in the past month. As Naruto would thank Hiruzen and run out. Hiruzen would be surprised as the day Naruto asked for a job was very surprising. Naruto would walk into Hiruzen's office asking for D-rank missions, which Hiruzen would decline Naruto, saying that he is not old enough to do D-rank missions. Naruto would explain that D-rank missions are basically just chores around the village, as Hiruzen would think about it and agree with Naruto in that no Genin team wants to do D-rank missions, so he would just give the ones that weren't due or are overdue to Naruto. Naruto's reason for getting this was to save up money so he can get stuff for his little sister and maybe even pay off the hospital bills. Hiruzen tells Naruto that he doesn't have to pay the hospital bills, that he would do it, but Naruto insists that he pays the hospital bills because Hiruzen has already done so much. So Hiruzen would let in giving Naruto D-rank missions. We go to current time as Naruto would be planting seeds in the ground as he would look over to the person who hired him for this job as he would be drinking, talking to some women. As Naruto would sigh, he would continue to pick up the hoe and, dig it into the ground. Eventually, he would slam the tool into the ground, breaking a hole as he would notice that it's deeper than the other ones that he's made. Putting his hand inside, he would move around and realize that there's no other thing stopping it. In fact, he can put his entire arm in it. Naruto would be confused as he was about to yell to the farmer about this, but the farmer was gone as Naruto would sigh. He would make the hole bigger as he would notice that it would be an entire tunnel system down there. Naruto would decide to be a bit curious as he would jump down there and start walking down the tunnel. It'd be completely dark, so he wouldn't be able to see anything. In fact, he probably can't even get himself back out, but he just decided to keep on walking. Eventually, he'd get to a bigger room where some sunlight was breaking through small holes in the ground, or in the ceiling now because he's underground. Never mind. Looking around, he would suddenly hear something flying towards him. Looking in that direction, he would slightly dodge a kunai as he would graze his cheek, cutting it. He'd be surprised as he would try looking around, as suddenly 3 Anbus would appear with a weird symbol on the mask. Naruto has seen Anbu, of course, because he's an heir to the Uzumaki clan, so of course Anbus follow him all the time. So he noticed that these masks aren't the same. Who are you? You're not Anbu for the Hokage. As the Anbu didn't even say anything to Naruto. Suddenly, another Anbu from behind would throw a kunai, which Naruto would dodge again because, he does have a little bit of training. He's the heir to an Uzumaki clan, so, he has to have some training. Naruto would look over as he would know that he's outmatched in this, and if he stays any longer, death is guaranteed, as Naruto would start running away. The Anbu would start to chase him as Naruto would look over, as he was normally a very fast kid. He does still pull pranks, so he's extremely fast at this time. As he is jump over a ditch, continue to run down the tunnel. Suddenly, it would lead to a wall as he would turn around to see the Anbu had finally reached up. Naruto not being fast enough as the Anbu would slice down the Tanto, cutting his eye as he'd be permanently damaged, as Naruto would be in surprise, as normally the Anbu wouldn't do this. In fact, they're here to kill. Naruto would think that's impossible because the Anbu is supposed to protect the heirs to the clans in the Leaf Village, but these are here to kill him. As Naruto would try to fight back, but obviously these are Anbu and they're much stronger than Naruto at the age of 3, so they really beat the shit out of him. As Naruto would be on the floor bleeding out, he'd look over to see the Anbu disappearing in the darkness, as he would wonder how he got in this situation. It's because of his dumb curiosity jumping into a hole and then finding a room which he didn't know about. As Naruto would be having all the regrets in his life, not able to talk to his mother, his sister growing up without a brother and a unconscious mother, as Naruto would use his last energies to try to stand up. Standing up, he would lean against the wall as suddenly he would hear a crack. Turning his head slightly, he would see the crack in the wall he was laying against as he would break, falling into another hole. Hitting something, he would lay on top of this weird table of stone, and as he would look over, a bunch of statues would be everywhere as Naruto would see a giant creepy face smile looking back at him. Naruto would wonder what this is as he would just continue to rest and eventually accept that he's going to die. Suddenly, Naruto would wake up. The white ceiling ahead of him reminded him of the hospital his mother was in. As he'd sit up, noticing that he was actually in the hospital, in fact, in the bed next to his mother, as he would see that he was hooked up and that there was a heart monitor and everything. Confused, he would remember what happened last was he fell and hit a table of some sort. As Naruto would be confused, as suddenly a white bar would pop up. Do you accept to be a player? Naruto would be confused as he would wave his hand like trying to get out of his face, thinking it's some sort of dream. As he would continue to look around the room and still see the sign still there. Do you accept being a player? Yes or no? Naruto would be confused even more as he rubbed his eyes, even pinching himself to think it was a dream. It wasn't, it was still there. Being curious, Naruto would say, yes? The screen would disappear as Naruto would think that was just a dream, or a very odd dream. As he was about to get out of the bed and go look for a nurse to ask what happened, as suddenly another thing would pop up. Daily missions, 100 push-ups, 100 curl-ups, 100-mile run, basically. I'll just say like run around Konoha. 3 laps, 10 laps around Konoha. Yeah, we'll say that. 10 laps around Konoha. As Naruto would stare at it. What? I'm not doing this. As he would walk away, but before he could, he would see another mission pop up. Penalty for not completing daily challenge. As Naruto would read that, penalty zone? Man, this is some weird dream. As he would walk out, finding a nurse, he would ask what happened, as the nurse would explain that he was randomly found in a hole, and Hiruzen managed to take him to the hospital. After the farmer that disappeared noticed that Naruto was gone, he contacted the Hokage. The Hokage went looking for him, found Naruto in a weird state. He wasn't injured at all, but he was laying on a weird table with nothing around it. Naruto would be confused as he would remember that there was statues around and this creepy smile staring back at him, but it's probably a weird dream that he hit the table or something too hard. He'd walk out of the hospital and get some food because he just got out. And he'd do the normal stuff like he does every single day until it was nighttime, where he was about to go to sleep in his bed till suddenly the message would pop up. Daily mission failed. Penalty zone loading in. As Naruto would be confused. What? Suddenly his soft bed would become dirt. Getting up, he would look around as he noticed sand everywhere. That was fast. What kind of dream is this? Suddenly he would hear a roar as he would look up to see a timer. As Naruto would look confused, suddenly he would see something move in the sand. Walking closer to it, he had noticed it was brownish, almost like a rock, as suddenly the rock would disappear. Naruto would see a trail of sand getting moved around as suddenly something would burst out of the ground, a giant sandworm of some sort crashing onto the land. Looking at Naruto, Naruto would be in absolute shock. What is that? As suddenly it starts to chase down Naruto. Naruto running for his life, using his little feet to get as far away as possible. Suddenly he would notice more coming out of the ground as he would think that he's dead for sure. But thanks to plot armor, Naruto is actually able to survive for the entire time, as he suddenly be transported back into his house in the morning. Naruto would hit the ground hard as he'd wonder what happened. Looking on the floor, he would see sand still falling out of his, clothes, as he did fall a lot. Naruto would now know that this thingy that's in front of his face is real and it's doing something. Suddenly the same message would pop up as last time. Daily missions. Naruto decided to do it this time, as he would spend the entire day doing it because he's 3 and he did it. He's 3, not a lot of everything. So he'd get home exhausted, as Hiruzen would actually be surprised to see Naruto walk into the hospital this late at night. Normally he'd be asleep and asleep. Naruto, you look exhausted. As Naruto would nod. Yeah, I decided to do some training. As Hiruzen would smile. Good. Hopefully those would improve your academy scores. As Naruto would get a sweat drop. I don't think this is gonna help me with my academy score. As Hiruzen would pat Naruto in the head as he's like, ugh, you kind of stink. As Naruto would nod as he had to run around Konoha 10 times. Only Might Guy and Rock Lee could do those things. Speaking of Rock Lee and Might Guy, he did see those two on the trail. They were trying to encourage him, but he was too tired to even listen to anything they said. As Naruto would sit on the chair. Sorry about the cut. Anyways, back to the story. Naruto would be sitting down, looking at his mother as Hiruzen just left. As the message would pop up, daily missions completed. Items received. Do you accept? Yeah. Naruto would nod his head as he would say yes, as suddenly he would say that things were added to his inventory. Opening it up, he would see a box and a key. Confused, Naruto would click on the box as he would be rewarded with 5 experience points. What are these experience points? Suddenly a bar would pop up. Do you wish to use your experience points? Naruto would think that how convenient that was, as he would nod his head as suddenly an inventory of some sort opened up. He would see himself, the armor section where armor would be, and the storage. As Naruto would see next to his picture, stats, strength, stamina, speed, durability, health, and mana, or in this case, chakra. As Naruto stared at it, looking through, he had decent stats. 10 strength, 15 health, like 12 durability, 17 speed, and probably with Kurama, I would say that he has like at least 86 stamina and like 78 chakra, because he has a lot of chakra at this age already. So he's pretty OP already. As Naruto noticed that his stamina and chakra are very high up, so all he needs to do is level up his other stuff. As you look, health is the second, strength is not that strong, and speed is pretty high as well. So he would decide that strength would probably be the best option. As he'd put 3 points into speed or into strength, as he would also add 1 point to durability and another point into speed. Naruto didn't feel anything whatsoever. Is this a joke? Did I become stronger or something? As he would get up, dropping the key that he has picked up from the box or the reward, as Naruto would reach over to get it, but it'd be too deep under the or too far away from him, so he would try to move the bed, as suddenly he would lift it up. Okay, yep, it's real. As he would place the bed down after grabbing the key, as he would read it, dungeon key. It's a dungeon. As he would walk home thinking about it, as he was hoping the bar would pop up saying or explaining what the dungeon is, but it didn't pop up, so he assumes that he would have to wait. Right now he feels like he's too weak, so he continues to do the daily challenges until he feels like he's strong enough. We'll go to, say, 2 weeks past. Naruto is level 15. His strength is 21, speed is 17, durability is 23, stamina is the same, and chakra is the same. Health is increased to 13. As Naruto would finally feel like he's ready to do these challenges, and he has noticed that these stats actually do affect his body. In fact, he's becoming more ripped, or maybe that's because of the daily challenges, but he is feeling that he's much stronger than anybody in his class currently. Oh, I have not set up a ship. Shit. Okay, calm it down a ship for Naruto. Yeah, calm it down a ship. Anyways, Naruto would be walking through the village, as people have noticed that he's been doing some challenges or exercises, and has been doing less D-rank missions. As he would leave Konoha secretly, of course, they won't let a heir to a clan just leave Konoha, so Naruto had to sneak out, as he would be in the Forest of Death, not knowing it's the Forest of Death. Grabbing the key out of his inventory, he found out the inventory is very helpful, as he's able to keep a lot of stuff in there. Some spare kunai, shuriken, and a tanto. As Naruto would put the key in a tree, because it made the most sense. As he would turn it, suddenly the tree would disappear, revealing a gate. As Naruto would push it open, it would lead down. Walking into the cave, he continued to hear growls and movement. Finally arriving at the bottom, he would look around to see red eyes staring back at him. Okay, I think I got the wrong floor. As he was about to walk up the stairs, suddenly they would disappear. Of course. Turning around, he would see the wolves that have finally shown themselves, but these weren't any normal wolves. In fact, they weren't even the Forest of Death wolves. They were mutated somehow. They looked bigger and more vicious. Naruto would take out the tanto from his inventory as he would point it at a wolf. Okay, let's see if these stats actually work. As he would run towards the wolf charging at Naruto would see the wolf move extremely slow. As Naruto would suddenly see a bar popped up. skill unlocked, Perception. As Naruto would be confused, he would duck under the wolf as he would stab the sword right under it when it jumped over him. The wolf would poof out of existence as another bar or achievement popped up. Achievement unlocked, first kill, as Naruto would be confused. So, Perception, as he'd open up the inventory to notice, he has the new skill to upgrade, Perception, which basically allows him to see better. As Naruto think this is pretty cool, he continued to kill all the wolves and eventually get the title Wolf Slayer or something like that. Naruto think this is really cool. His Perception has been leveled up to level 8. Level 8, yeah. And his level currently is... I said his level was like around 15, I think. So his level is now like 18 currently. He noticed that there would be more stairs as he decided to walk down those stairs and eventually arrive at more wolves and continue to slay them. And eventually he would get an item from one of these wolves, which would be a wolf fang designed as a knife or a dagger. He'd look at the skills as thanks to his Perception, he's actually able to see like the durability, the quality, how much damage it can take, any skills or stats that it increases. As he would notice that the wolf's fang would actually increase his speed, stamina, and the damage was higher than the Tantos. As you'd normally pick the wolf's fang because it does more damage than the Tanto, so he has to use it. As he would continue walking down, killing more wolves, and eventually he would see a bar pop up. Looking up, he would see a title. Is this a boss fight? But this will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, share it with your friends. Remember, goal for this video is 10 likes because it's a new series. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.